Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to a report by the Canadian Press, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney announced on Wednesday that his Liberal government will soon introduce new legislation to combat forced labor within supply chains. This announcement follows a proposal by the Trump administration to impose an additional 10% tariff on goods from Canada, Mexico, the United Kingdom, and several other countries. The Week Trade representative, Jameson Greer, released a report criticizing these nations for failing to adequately enforce bans on products made with forced labor. The report specifically called out the Canada Border Services Agency for its minimal enforcement actions and lack of transparency, warning that Canada has become a dumping ground for such illicit goods. Although Canada currently has supply chain transparency laws in place, U.S. officials argue they are insufficient. In response, Canadian Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc stated that Canada shares the goal of eradicating forced labor and will engage constructively with the U.S. in the coming weeks. Conservative finance critic Adam Chambers also voiced support for strengthening and reframing Canada's laws to ensure proper enforcement. According to a report by Global News, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, released a new outlook predicting that Canada's economy is expected to strengthen later this year and continue growing into 2027. This positive projection comes shortly after Statistics Canada reported that the country had entered a technical recession, with the gross domestic product, GDP, shrinking for 2 consecutive quarters. The OECD expects Canada's GDP growth to reach 1.2% by the end of 2026 and accelerate to 1.7% in 2027. This recovery is anticipated as the economy bounces back from the impact of U.S. tariffs. Growth will be supported by household consumption, government spending on defense and infrastructure, and rising energy exports fueled by higher global energy prices. While inflation may experience near-term increases, it is projected to gradually ease back to the Bank of Canada's 2% target. Consequently, the central bank is expected to proceed cautiously, maintaining stable monetary policy in the near term. Prime Minister Mark Carney recently acknowledged some weakness in the economy, but urged patience while defending his government's agenda. According to a report by Radio-Canada International, fighter jets from the Royal Canadian Air Force will patrol the skies over Vancouver and Toronto during the upcoming FIFA World Cup. These armed patrols, coordinated through the North American Aerospace Defense Command, NORAD, are designed to safeguard stadium venues and fan festivals against potential airborne threats. In addition to manned fighter jets, authorities are implementing a strict no-fly zone, meaning unauthorized civilian aircraft and drones will be completely banned from the airspace surrounding World Cup sites. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police, RCMP, will be responsible for enforcing the drone ban using advanced detection and electronic countermeasure technologies. To enhance monitoring capabilities, the Canadian Armed Forces has also installed a temporary air surveillance radar in Grimsby, Ontario. While cross-border defensive actions are common under NORAD, officials emphasize that Canada and the United States will focus on defending their respective airspaces during this planned event. NORAD teams will run intercept drills over Toronto in early June to prepare for any potential escalation, though high-level authorization is required for any shoot-down operations. According to Global News, the Pikangikum First Nation in Northern Ontario has declared a state of emergency due to a worsening water crisis. Nearly 4,000 residents are living with only a few pails of water a day, which must be boiled before drinking. The community's 40-year-old water treatment plant is failing, and a critical reservoir is losing water 4 times faster than it can be filled, leaving 300 homes without direct water service. The lack of water has led to a rise in illnesses, infections, and skin rashes. Furthermore, with the region facing extreme wildfire risks, only 4 of the community's 12 fire hydrants are operational due to severely low water pressure. While Indigenous Services Canada stated it is providing over $2 million in funding for water infrastructure, Chief Patty Peters expressed frustration, stating that nothing has changed. The community is currently pursuing a federal lawsuit against the Canadian government, seeking $2 billion and $200 million in emergency relief. According to the Canadian press, Kamaljit Arora, a father from Laval, Quebec, who drowned his 2 young children in their family home in October 2022, has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole for 25 years. In March, a jury found Aurora guilty of first-degree murder in the deaths of his 11-year-old son and 13-year-old daughter. The jury also convicted him of attempting to murder his eldest daughter and strangling his wife, Rama Rani Arora, both of whom survived the horrific attack. While the life sentence for first-degree murder is automatic under Canadian law, Superior Court Justice Alexandre Bien-Aimé Bastien also handed down additional concurrent sentences earlier this week. These include an 8-year sentence for the attempted murder of his eldest daughter and a 1-year sentence for the assault on his wife. Under the concurrent terms, Aurora will still be eligible to apply for parole after serving 25 years. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.